The New York Islanders beat the Pittsburgh Penguins 6-3 tonight in I hate to call it a must win, but it really was a must win. When you take a look at how things were going with the Islanders and the standings and the amount of time, you can always say that, hey, it's still early, but it's really not early. We're getting to that 30 game mark, and it's really time to make a move. And the Islanders were in a bad spot. We're in 14th place. However, before we get talking into this video, I have to make a disclaimer before the video. So this is for all the people. I figure we're a small knit community. I know I don't have a huge following of viewers, so I feel like I can talk to you. I feel like I can talk to you. So basically what happened tonight, I'm going to talk to you before I get into the video. So what happened tonight was my father, who's 92 years old, has come to stay with me for Christmas, and I basically have to take care of him. He's 92 years old. God bless his heart. And Saturday nights is his night for the casino, and he needs to go there. So I had to talk him into going to the casino an hour later tonight so that I could finish watching the Islander game. But I had to leave immediately after that and go and take my father to the casino so that he could enjoy his Saturday night. Now, myself, who worked in a casino for over 7 years, 100% knows better than ever to gamble. So I don't gamble. So I go into the sports bar and I sit in there and drink for 4 hours waiting for my dad to enjoy his casino. So I may have had a joint or two and a few beers, well, maybe more than a few beers. So I'm going to try to remember everything from the game, but I'm still going to try to give my views because I figure, it's a small audience, but you guys look forward to it. And so that's good enough for me, which makes me want to put this video out. And hey, I could be way off base on a lot of this stuff. I just watched the recap to kind of get the old brain going again and try to get into the game and remember what it was like. But I usually like to do the videos right after so that the old memory, it's kind of going these days. Short-term memory and long-term memory is great, but the short-term memory not so good. So that's why I usually like to do my videos right after the game so that I remember what the hell I'm talking about. But anyway, the Islanders jump out. You can tell that it had been sitting with them for 4 days. There's no doubt. You could tell that Sabres game had been burning in their brain for 4 days, and they came out with a ton of jump tonight. Ton of jump. And it was good to see the Islanders really, really started taking it to Pittsburgh. And this was a huge game. Let's put the cards on the table right now. Like Pittsburgh's 37 points, the Islanders are 33 points. We've got a back to back with these guys. That's 4 points. We can actually, if we win both games, we can actually be tied with Pittsburgh. And don't get me wrong. I said before this game even started that we must win both of these games. And hopefully in regulation, both in regulation. And mission accomplished tonight. Well done, Islanders. But it means nothing if we don't win tomorrow night. It means nothing. We're just back to being 4 points behind Pittsburgh. So it's absolutely important we go into Pittsburgh and win tomorrow night. But I thought it was a really good job by the Islanders tonight. They came out with a lot of jump and scored an early goal. However, unfortunately, it was called back. Brock Nelson scores in a great play. It was well done, and this is a tough one because Anthony, in my mind, I agree with the call. I think it was goaltender interference, and here's the reason why. Uh, it's one of the questions that needs to be asked about goaltender interference is how long does it take for a goaltender recover from being tapped to being in position to face a shot for a goal. So that is a question that needs to be answered, which nobody really knows. However, in this case, the way I see it, when Duclair bumped in to Jari, he pushed him over, and then he bounced away from Jari, and then Jari reset, but Jari's angle was way off because he got pushed over that 6 inches to a foot. And that's pretty much why we scored. So I have to agree with that call on the ice tonight. It sucks to get another one called back, but especially since we need to start scoring first and getting off to a good start and getting a jump. And that's what you were hoping for after this Christmas break because you knew that these two games were pretty much must win situations. So it was very disappointing when it was called back, but I do think it was the right call. However, good news for the Islanders at the 15-minute mark, roughly the 15-minute mark, 14:47. John Gabriel Pageau scores his eighth goal of the year from Matt Barzell, and it's a beauty. What a nice pass by Barzell as he crisscrossed over to Pajot. Pajot made a great play on that. And I just got to say, Pajot scoring his eighth goal of the year. This is great production. This is what you would expect from a guy like Pajot uh, on a good year. On a good year, 8 goals at this point of the season, around 36 goal mark from a player like Pajot. That's solid. That's solid play. So JG has had a good year for us and a really sweet pass by Barzy there. So we lost the chance to go up 1-0, and then we just took another chance and made it 1-0. And that was awesome. But you couldn't help but think in the back of your head, damn, it could have been 2-0. But you take the win when you can get the win. And it was nice to be up 1-0. But that was short-lived, very short-lived, which was very disheartening because Michael Bunting scores on the power play from Raquel. And it was only like a minute and 30, what was it? Minute and 20 seconds after we'd taken the lead 1-0. So that was so disheartening because I have to say the Islanders played a really good first period. It was obvious to tell that they had they didn't have the greatest of Christmas seasons. You could tell they were itching to get back on the ice and make up for that 7-1 drubbing that they got from the Sabres. It was pretty obvious. They were on their toes. They were out skating Pittsburgh. They were out hitting them. They were out jumping them to the puck. They were doing everything right. So to all of a sudden be 1-1 after doing that well, coming out when you needed to do really well, when it should be 2-0, but it's not 2-0. And then all of a sudden, lo and behold, it's 1-1. And that sucks. And of course, it has to be a power play goal with the PK letting us down once again, which is, I thought about it at the time and I said, it really sucks. A team, as a team, as a team, these guys can play a great game, but because of specialty teams, it don't matter. It don't matter how good it don't matter how good of a game you play. Because if you give up two power play goals and three chances or three power play goals and three chances or whatever and that, it just doesn't matter. And then if you don't score on your power play ever, I mean, it was like I was on the message board tonight and I had a buddy of mine, Mark, say, "Oh, I hope we score a power play goal." And I go, "Well, yeah, it could be one of those times because we score. Think of it in these terms, people. We score 12 goals every 100 times we take a crack at the power play. We score 12 times. That's how many times us Islander fans get excited about a power play goal." So it's so disheartening. It's so disheartening to be 1-1 after one period. However, I'm still feeling good because I really like about the way the Islanders are playing in the game. And so I'm encouraged going into the second period. I'm thinking the honors are looking good, and I'm pretty happy about it. And I'm very happy at the 5 minute and 39 mark when Anthony Duclair scores from Kyle Palmieri and Brock Nelson. What a really nice goal by Duclair tonight. And I got to say, Duclair had a really good game tonight. He was really he shaked off a lot of rust tonight, and it was obvious that made us a stronger team. Sorry, guys. I've been going. My dad wanted to also have a drink when we came back to the house, and I haven't finished mine yet. And I'm a little parched talking about the podcast, so just give me 1 second here. But anyway, thrilled to be up 2-1. Ah, 2-1. How exciting is that? And it's well earned. Once again, like the Honors are playing well. They're really playing well. You can see that they were upset by that Buffalo loss. And Anders Lee comes through this that goal was so funny. I was so upset at Anders because it was a wide open net. And what have I talked about all season about is how this team has no finish. We have no finish. And I go, all of a sudden I'm going, how could you miss that? And then a second later, all of a sudden the puck is in the net. Little did I know that Letang shot it in the net for us. And I go, woo, way to go, Anders. Way to go. Good job. We haven't had a goal like that for us in such a long time, but we have done something like that for so many other teams so many times. It was so nice to see one go our way. And I was like, yes, yes, yes. And all of a sudden we're up 3-1. And it's big. It's big. Like Anders, you missed that. And we'd had a lot of other opportunities where we had prime scoring opportunities that we didn't finish off. Palmieri had one early in the first period that he should have buried. He should have buried, but let it roll off his stick. And there was a couple others. Horvat had a whole bunch of chances too. So it was nice to see that come through. And you know, Anders, you talk about Anders, and he's going to score another goal later in this game, which is going to give him 15 goals on the season. And people were talking when he signed his 7-year contract, saying by the time the fourth year comes, we are going to be hurting. He is now in year 6 of year 7, and Anders is leading the Islanders in goal scoring with 15 goals, and he's leading by 3 against Palms. Palms is the next guy by 12, and then the next after that is Brock at 10. So, like, wow, what a season Anders Lee is having. Great job, Anders. Could not be happier for you. And I really thought there should have been a couple of assists on that play. I don't know why they made this an unassisted goal. It really shouldn't have been. There was a couple of assists that should have been awarded for that. Uh, and then, uh, unfortunately for me, I lose my feed for 2 minutes, and well, I come back to Casey Suzuka scoring his seventh or second goal of the year from Romanoff and Horvat. Pretty excited about it. I saw it on the highlights. It was a beautiful goal. Well done, Casey. Nicely done. And that is probably the goal of the game that I thought would have sewed this game up for the Islanders at 4-1 for the Isles and halfway through the second period. But you always have to know with the honors, 4-1 don't mean any game is secure with the Islanders at that time. And I am very, very disappointed that it follows that exact script. It does, which is we have seen so many times. And Noel Akari scores at the 14-minute mark from Nieto and Carlson. I'm going, okay, it's 4-2, and whatnot. I should mention that before before we went up 4-1, what a save Soroka made on Crosby right before that. That could have made it 3-2. But the save that Soroka made on Crosby when Crosby was coming in that let us go up 4-1 was a huge difference in this game. That was a key save. So well done, Ilya. But when Achari scored to make it 4-2, I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, why can the Islanders never make this easy? And then we hit into the 2-minute danger zone at the end of the period. But man, the Islanders take it right down to the 4-second mark. They let Raquel score from Gretzky and Malkin. I'm going like, I threw my hands up in the air and I go, you've got to be fucking kidding me. You've got to be kidding. I am so sick of seeing that happen to the Islanders. And all of a sudden it's 4-3 going into the second period. And I'm just like, "Poof, I don't know, man." But the funny thing about it was I was still feeling pretty good about the Islanders. And the reason I was feeling good about the Islanders is because they were actually playing a pretty good game. So, yeah. And then Zeker in the third period, Zeker is going to pretty much salt this game away at the 14:43 mark, scoring his third goal of the year, second goal of the game. So super game for Casey's tonight from Holmstrom, making it 5-3. And it looks like hopefully that we're gonna coast to the rest of this game and take two very important points. But we we still have to go through the Keystone Cops on the empty net with the honors. Like I don't know if I've ever seen it this bad where you've got an empty net and we've got them hemmed in their end with no empty net. We have not one, not two, but three prime opportunities to put the puck in the empty net. And the Pittsburgh defensemen are making saves like crazy. And not only do they make one, two, and three, but they make a fourth after that. And then finally, Anders says, enough of this, grabs the puck from around the net, wraps her around into an empty net, and salts this game away for the Islanders with an empty net goal. So great job by Anders Lee. So huge game for the Islanders tonight. We started this. We started this game in 14th place in the conference, and we actually moved up to 12th place by this win alone. And we passed the New York Rangers tonight. The New York Rangers are sitting in the basements of the Metro Division. Yeah, that's where we were, and now it's their spot. It really sucks. Misery loves company, right? Misery loves company, and it just feels so good to pass them, even though we're still way down with them. It just feels so good to pass Rangers. Like seeing their misery is such a wonderful thing to see and to pass them in the standings at this point of the season when people had predicted them to possibly win the cup this year and all that stuff that I heard. It is fantastic. And to see Shesterkin getting shell shocked night after night, it is kind of awesome. It's kind of awesome. So it was a huge win by the Owls tonight. They really need this one, but I got to tell you, it really doesn't matter if the Islanders don't if the Islanders don't pull off a win tomorrow night. It's pretty much all for naught. I'm not saying that if Pittsburgh won tomorrow night's game, we'd be 4 points behind the Penguins. And there's still 45, 47 games left, which means we could easily still catch Pittsburgh. But what I'm saying in the nature of the beast of the whole thing, you have to get back into the race. And for us, I said we had to win both games minimum in this back to back, and I still agree with that. And I thought no regulation point or no other points, no loser points for the Penguins. Well, now that we've won the first, I would be okay with getting two in Pittsburgh, still getting one. Now, the bottom line after that would still leave the Penguins 1 point ahead of us. But the bottom line is we need to get two more points here to get back into this because Pittsburgh right now is 1 point below Ottawa, and Ottawa is the one who is holding in that last spot. So it's absolutely crucial that we follow tonight up with a W tomorrow night. If we don't do this, tonight won't mean a whole hell of a lot other than the fact that by winning, we didn't get buried in the standings tonight. So uh, we want to take this into a positive and not a negative and try to move forward. So we really need a win. And I will say right now, I will take the 2-1 if that's how it has to be. I would much prefer it to be in regulation, but if not, I would definitely take it. All right, so let's get into the players tonight. So, Max Siplikov got a little spanking tonight. He got a little spanking tonight. He got a spanking for, he's been taking a lot of penalties. He's been taking a lot of penalties. And I got to tell you, I have Siplikov on my fantasy team, and I'm more than happy with the amount of penalty minutes that Siplikov is taking. But apparently, Patrick Roy is not quite as happy with Seplikov as I am on my fantasy team. And I understand that with our PK sucking so bad, you have to do something. So Sip is going to get punished tonight. He's going to have to take his slap on the wrist and he's going to get sent down to the fourth line. He is about to get sent down to the fourth line. So he has four some penalties tonight, and this is his punishment. However, I will say this: our fourth line had more scoring opportunities tonight than it's had all season combined. It was Siplikov on it. So I get where you're coming from, Patrick. I'm getting where you're coming from. And I hope it's a good slap on the wrist for him. Don't make him pay for it with another game on the fourth line. Put him back where he belongs. Put him. But message sent, and Sipikov only got 12 minutes and 39 seconds of ice time tonight. So I will just say that that's the best our fourth line has looked all year. It's just kind of comical. Simon Holstrom, I thought, had an awesome game. I really did. Simon he's really coming into his own. Picks himself up in Apple tonight and grabs himself a point. He's +2. He plays almost 19 minutes in ice time tonight, gets one shot on net. And his forechecking and everything, it's the other things that Simon does, and he does them so well. And he was very hyped up for tonight's game. He had a lot of jump. He had a lot of jump in his skate tonight. So I was uber impressed with Simon tonight, even though, only one assist, but still, I thought he played better than just one assist. I thought he had that good of a game. So Simon looking really good. Going to Anthony Duclair, I really thought we finally saw the rust shake off Mr. Duclair tonight. The rust is not fully gone off Anthony, and he had been averaging a point a game, and he kept that up with scoring a goal tonight. So uh, w- I thought Anthony made a huge difference in this game tonight. I thought he was even though he got 2 points, one in each game in his first two games, I really didn't think he made an impact. Tonight, I thought he made an impact. I actually saw an impact from Anthony tonight, which hence I say I think he's shaking the rust off. And I think there's still a little more rust to shake off, but I thought he had an excellent game tonight. And he's a big reason why the Islanders won this game 6-3 tonight. So really nice game by Declared Knight, 15 minutes of ice time. Barzell, I thought was just flying all night long. I thought he was fantastic. I thought he was fantastic the whole game. He only got an assist tonight, but he was a plus two, 16 and a half minutes of ice time. He had five shots on net, but he was making things happen. He was making the right things happen. He was making the right decisions on what to do at the time, and he was in motion. That I mean, he was a big part on that goal. That cutback he made, getting her back over there for that goal. That was just an outstanding play. Outstanding. And Bo Horvat, I thought was awesome tonight. He was really on his toes and he was shooting really well. A lot of times I call Bo not a guy who's a finisher, but tonight the way he was shooting like a finisher who was getting nice saves made against them. Like he was making the right shot. It was just getting saved. And those shots don't get saved all the time, but he was making them, and I thought he was very, very good tonight. I thought he was really engaged, picked himself up an assist. He was a plus two. 17 and a half minutes of ice time. He had two shots on that tonight. I was really happy with both game. Thought he looked great. Hudson Fashing, I thought he had one of his better games of the year, and I hate to say this, but uh he had Sipikov on his line for most of the game, but even before he had Sipikov on his line in the first period, I noticed Hudson a lot, and I thought he was playing really well. So overall, really good game by Hudson Bashing tonight, and he got the zeros across the board. He only got 7 minutes and 46 seconds of ice time, but he got the zeros across the board. That's what we're looking for at the fourth line. So well done, Hudson. Kyle Palmieri had an excellent game tonight. He was very engaged. He only got an assist as well, but he was a plus one. He got 19 minutes of ice time, but he got two shots on net as well. He was very engaged for what he has been in the recent past, and it's nice to see that he was involved as he was tonight. So, uh, you gotta love Kyle's game for us this year. You gotta love the game that he's given us last year as well. I still think we need to put Sipikoff back with Palmieri and Nelson and let that magic take over. We're missing out. We're missing out by keeping them apart. I really truly believe that. Anders Lee, wow. Anders, dude. Two goals tonight. Leading goal scorer on the New York Islanders, 15 goals. That's like you're on pace for over 30 this year. Anders, you are the man. Plus one tonight, 15 minutes and 45 seconds of ice time, two shots on net, which would basically be 100% shooting percentage tonight. So but besides that, I saw Anders doing so many other good things out there tonight, his board work and all that stuff. Anders has just been leading by example all year long. Exemplary, exemplary. Okay, okay. I've had the beers, so I'm gonna leave the word you know the word I'm thinking of, but I'm not gonna go there. But anyway, uh, Anders is definitely led by example this year for sure. Brock Nelson picked himself up an apple, but he was a minus one tonight, so that's not so good. 19 minutes fight time, but I still thought he had a fairly good game tonight. I thought him and Palms were looking good. I thought Brock was engaged. Is just he could use a little more finish. He could just use a little more finish is all I am saying. But it's a good game by Brock tonight. Kyle McLean, I thought, had an excellent night tonight. I thought he's really been picking up his game in the last five, six games or so. He's had some good wingers to play with, and that has helped him out a lot. With Martin sitting on the bench, has really helped out Kyle McLean's game tremendously. Kyle only played 7 minutes, but the 7 minutes he played, he did a very good job, and he was very energetic doing it as well. JG Pajot pots another goal tonight. He got his eighth of the year, and that eight from Pajot. is a fantastic pace. You can't ask for much more than that. JGL pulls out a +2 tonight in 15 minutes of ice time. He also gets 3 shots on net tonight. So him and Barzy were welcome or were working well. But I still disagree with the lines. I think I hate to say that in a game where we score 6 goals, but I still think we could get more out of our lines with the lines that I would prefer to put together. I'm not going to talk about those lines because you all know what they are. All right, who do we go to? So yeah, Pajot, like awesome game. Casey's Zeke as well. What can you say? Zeke 2 goals. This has got to be your game of the year, no doubt. +2 and 12 minutes of ice time. You did that in 12 minutes of ice time. Kudos for you, Casey. But I will also point out I noticed some other things besides the goal that you were doing very well tonight in your forechecking and whatnot. Looked a little more tenacious like the years have passed. And that's probably what resulted in your 2 goals tonight is because you were coming with that kind of energy tonight. So well done, Casey. I thought Adam Pelech had a really big bounce back game tonight. I thought he was very engaged in the offensive side of the game, and to me, Adam seemed like one of those guys that had the 7-1 loss to Buffalo that just weighed on his mind throughout the Christmas holidays and could not wait to get back. I could see it in the jump that he had tonight. He meant business tonight and he took care of business. And guess what? Lo and behold, he ends up a +2, 20 minutes of ice time. And that's the Adam Pelech that we expect to see. That was awesome to see. So he was and he even tried to engage in the offensive side of the puck as well. So good job by him. Also, when he's playing well like that, and Pollock was playing with him, it was nice to see them both come out with a +2 tonight. They had suffered. They were -5 in the last 2 games combined. So that was so nice to see for them bouncing back. And that's all we need because they're our veteran guys. They're the guys who lead us. And I still kind of think I think of them as the number one pair. I know they're our shutdown pair, but I think of them as our number one pair. And like Pollock had 3 shots on net tonight. He also had 2 block shots, and Pollock had 2 shots on net. He didn't have any block shots, but as a tandem, they played really well. Noah Dobson, I thought had a really good game, and I'll tell you why I thought Noah Dobson had a really good game. It's because I barely noticed them tonight. And that means good things in the defensive zone for Noah Dobson. Now, granted, he didn't have a lot going on the offensive side of the puck, but you know what? I'll take 23 minutes of no goals getting scored against you. Basically, which is what Noah was, as he was an even tonight in 23 minutes of ice time. He still got 3 shots on net and a block shot. So, super game by Noah. Well done, Noah. And Scotty Mayfield, our plus minus leader, is a +2 tonight. Almost 17 minutes of ice time. Had 1 shot on net, 1 block shot. I thought he had a fairly good game tonight as well. Romanoff, I think this guy has been one of our most consistent defensemen all season long, even though he's been injured for about a quarter of how much we've played so far. I still think he's been one of our most consistent defensemen. As he picked up another assist tonight, he's a plus one, 23 and a half minutes of ice time, 2 shots on net, 2 block shots. Typical Romanoff. Isaiah George, I thought also played very well. I saw him make some really super decisions that, you know, tonight that weren't really noticed. There was a chance where he was breaking out one side and he could have made a pass up, but from the camera angle I had from behind the net, so I could see him breaking out, and there was nothing there. And he just kind of pulled back and he went back behind the net again and he went to the other side and then he went to go look for something else. And it's just nice to see that kind of smarts. He didn't throw it into a really bad area and he realized there was just nothing there. So I'm just going to pull back and do it. So yeah, that was nice to see, and it's good to see the George's ice time's been pulled back. He got 14 minutes of ice time. That's good for him. He ended up +1 tonight, so it's a positive for him. We're breaking him into the NHL in a really good way. Sorokin, I thought he was pretty good tonight. He didn't have a whole lot of chance. That third goal was a weird one. That was just weird, but I know it was screened. The second goal, Dodson was sitting in Sorokin's lap. Wasn't a whole lot he could do about it. And the first goal went off the post, and then not a whole lot you can do about those. But anyway, Ilya gets us the win, so that's in our favor. So anyway. That's it for tonight. Pretty exciting that the Honors won this one. For me, it was almost pretty much a must win, as is tomorrow night. However, tomorrow night I'm willing up to give up a loser point to Pittsburgh. I prefer that we didn't, but the bottom line is we still need a win tomorrow night. Doesn't mean if we lose tomorrow night, season's done or anything like that. But if we want to be serious and get back into this thing and get going, and we need to put a little bit of streak together. And don't forget, we're going to have to play Toronto back to back after this thing with Pittsburgh. So that's going to be tough on us as well. So it's best for us to beat Pittsburgh tomorrow night. And that is what we need to do. Anyway, I hope all you guys and girls out there had a good night. And peace out.